know, how do you get it to look like this, where it's flush with the edge of the binding. And one thing on this guitar, this is clearly the binding's been replaced on the neck once before, but you can also see it's got kind of a yellow lacquer, then there's nothing here. And I haven't touched the side yet. You can still see the frets are protruding through. This side they're flush. I could, if Paul wanted me to, come back and hit this with lacquer, just the binding, tape this up on the edge, and then just put a coat of lacquer on, and then just sand it smooth to make it uniform. But I don't think he wants that. I will check with him. But I also did mention that I used this massive Durablock. And I use, like most people use, 3M sheet roll. In my real job I sell this stuff, so I kind of have a good price on it for myself. And so let me start here too. This has all been cleaned up. It's ready to go. The glue pot is boiling using hide glue, and it's been mixed with water, equal parts. And I'll be doing the net set in a little while. If you look here, can you see this? Sure, you can see this. There was never a question that you wouldn't be able to see it, but it's now flush. It's actually a little bit high, but also the lacquer is going to sink a little bit, almost kind of like a road. You overdo it, it sinks in. So it's slightly higher. I think that in a year or so it'll darken nicely. I don't want to overdo it because then it's going to look odd. But if you look, you know, here's where the Bigsby is. Here's where the bridge is. The guard. So we've got all kinds of things going on. Up here it's almost no orange, and down here there's a lot. So it's cool. Everything's good. A little bit of magic. So here, back to this. Here's the Durablock. Let me do this real quick. I built this bench. This is basically a cabinet maker's bench. It has these bench dogs. So making the neck stationary is really pretty easy. I made this pretty stationary, so now it's Miguel, move the camera. Si, senor. Okay. And there's my shims. I don't want to screw that up. Put them here and here. Look at this. 1950 something Grover Imperials. 4250. I know you can't really see, but it's a hell of an advertisement. So I don't want to go straight up and down because I don't want to hit the wood, Ricky Bob. So in this file, once it's flat, we'll give a 30-degree angle. So yeah, so that'll work later. What the hell is that? So just kind of file these babies down. Alright, so that's done. That's all it is. And then, not that I need to do this now, but I'll just demonstrate this. It's a nice 30-degree angle. Now, not to get too ahead, this is the file I use. Yeah, there was a question like, what do you do? How do you dress them? And see if I can zoom in. Miguel, get that. Zoom in, Miguel. See. The technique is one side's flat. I still tape these, and I don't tape it all out. Well, okay. Why don't you just do it that way? Okay, I will. A lot of guys buy these things and they spend lots of money on these little contraptions. I'll take contraptions. Who uses that word? So I take a couple pieces of tape, I stick it here, and then you just take the flat end and you go like this. And you try, you more or less kind of go in, down, and over. And you do both sides exactly the same. And the reason why you're taping is you don't want to, not this kind of taping, but you use this green tape. Just so you're not digging into the binding. But obviously I'm not going to do this now. Just wanted to show you. And that's very smooth. That's all you got to do. It's done. But I'm going to have to do it all again anyways, because once this baby goes on the neck, I'm going to take the radius block. I'm going to go over the whole thing lightly, just to make sure that we're all seated exactly right and all the tops are exactly right. And then come back with this for crowning. And this is a 2 deal. This is 150 and 300. So we'll start out with the 150. After it's all done, and just crown the frets, and then go back over with 300, and then I go over it with 500. Well, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000. That's how I polish them off, and it's done. So that's it for that. And next thing will be putting the neck on the guitar.